I would like to see more from him, you know. Same with Skepovic. I'd love to see these guys actually have a wee bit of time on the ball just to set themselves and have a strike, and let's see them find their range, because Chris Commons has to find his range. So I think one of the commentators mentioned that, how he's not as good as a sub because he needs a bit of time. He needs maybe 5 or 6 shots just to kind of get his range and get into the game, and then he can be dangerous. And
I think the issue with that is though, like the pies will be gestating in his stomach, and
yes,
sorry,
the Commons thing. I didn't think it.
Look, we'll get to Commons thing. I just wanted your kind of initial, terrific stuff. Brian, thoughts on the game?
Pretty similar. Decent performance, good victory. Nothing too outstanding to talk about. It's good to see Denier back. Craig Gordon pulled off a cracking save, although I think he sort of...
A couple of cracking saves.
I think Gordon's of the opinion now that he doesn't really get much to do during the game, so he kind of makes it difficult for himself by just doing something stupid so he can pull off a save.
Aye, because there was the one where he kind of hits it behind. He tries to keep it in play, not knowing there's a guy at the back post. So yeah,
he's that good. I think he just wants to have something to do, really.
Yeah.
Griffiths is a great point where he works really hard, but I think he's better as a substitute. Like, he's better coming on, because when he starts, for all the effort, he doesn't really do much.
I think that it's hard to we'll go to Ciaran. Sorry, what are your thoughts on your kind of initial thoughts on the game? And actually, I'll ask you this as well.
Nothing really different from the two boys before me. I was going to pick up on Denier coming back, see what he make the defence a bit more steadier than they had with the fucking Muppet that's usually in there.
I think if he gets a bit of a hard time,
I don't think he
was talking about, didn't you?
We were a couple of Muppets down because Mr. Mulgrew wasn't there either. So
he was in the analysis box, or whatever you want to call it.
Looking
baffled.
This is easy. Another thing coming.
I thought he was great. He done a great job. I think that's probably his best
tables
position.
Get more personality and insight than him.
Hey, you've got more personality and insight than him, Louis.
Calm down.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
I think Henderson was decent. I don't think it was a standout performance, but it's good to see him get another game.
Yeah. Yeah, you just grabbed the microphone.
Ciaran just made the statement, I've got nothing more to say than what those two have just said.
But then I started talking about Denier.
He did.
Well, we'll come back to that point, Ciaran.
This isn't a co-host situation.
Come on! Last week's gone to my head.
Boud's trying to stamp his authority in this house.
I tell you what, that 3-day hangover's family kick went away now. You're a bit more lively than we've been all weekend.
Fucking hell.
Alive. The other thing I was going to say is Louis made a very good point. It was very professional, and I think the fact that we'd had difficulties with Hamilton earlier in the season, it was just a case of get this job done.
We should have scored more goals though. We really should have.
You can say that about every single game Celtic plays.
Yeah, I know, but that game particularly,
we didn't create a lot of chances to score.
We didn't create a lot.
What I mean is we should have created more. Fair enough. We weren't creating as many as we have been over the last couple of weeks. That backs that point up. We should have scored goals. But Ciaran, you're going to say about Denier?
Yeah, it's good that he's back now. And he seems to bring more of a calmness to the defence. They seem to work together as a unit. Like I said, without Ambrose, you just don't know what he's going to do. He just gets the ball and everybody just kind of panics, and then just as soon as he lets go,
except Ambrose, he's the only one that doesn't panic.
I've been a fairly critical, very vocally critical of Adam Matthews, but he had a good game. He actually got some crosses into the box, which it's the first time. To be fair, there was a couple of times
considering he's played out of position.
Aye, because he's a left back, isn't he? Jesus. But his goal. Worldy, am I right, Ciaran? That's the phrase.
It was a good strike. I wouldn't say it was a worldy. It was a good strike.
Okay, you hit it half volley from about 35 yards.
It's sat up
right in the postage stamp.
I don't know what a worldy is now, if that's not a worldy.
I don't know the definition of worldy, but I was delighted to hear Adam Matthews after it say it was Scott Brown that told me to shoot. I just heard Brownie shout, shoot.
Are you serious?
Yep, and that's what I did. I didn't have time to think about it. I just did it. So, true captain, telling the players what to do. And I think that really the goal should probably be given.
Does that count as an assist?
Don't give him ideas. For fuck's sake.
That's what's known as a brownie to the kids.
I was going to make a nasty comment there, but I won't.
Try to score brownie points, right? With snidey little comments.
He did look like an extra from fucking Dad's Army with that headband around his head, though, didn't he? Why? Like 2 black eyes? Was that from the challenge?
It was some sort of head knock that he took.
Is that not when he...
It was a
that
challenge in the first pre-season. Again,
But I thought it was his hamstring.
it's the way he fell, though, because the way he made a tackle, it was almost a 2-footed tackle within about 2 minutes when he's off the ground. But
how's he cut his head?
Because he's went to the ground.
He's
went to the ground and he's literally ran into the guy's like knee and it's hit him in the face, basically. Hi, what a fud.
What a brownie that was.
In terms of just a couple of stats, nothing thingy. 55% to 45, 16 shots to 7. So, in terms of 16 shots, 7 of them on target. So, that's improving a little bit. I have to say the technique that Henderson's goal, it was a bit of a scrappy goal, but the way he swiveled and hit that shot, technique.
It's another good performance from Henderson, which it's now should be making it hard for him to be dropped.
Yeah.
Between that and Kilmarnock, I thought he was a lot better in the Kilmarnock game than he was at Hamilton, but he was still influential in the game as well.
Yeah.
But he should be still continuing
Do you
starting.
think it's weird how he's just came right back into things when I thought he was nowhere near the squad for the first half of the season, and now
I know, but he was playing for the reserves. Like they've obviously
he was playing well though. He wasn't just playing like he's been scoring goals for the development squad, and they're going down to play teams in England. I mean, they played Sunderland and they're playing Newcastle and stuff like that. So it's probably, with all due respect to the SPL teams, reserve teams or under 20 teams, it's probably a bit of a higher standard, and there's more of a big match atmosphere because they're played in the actual stadiums.
I think like Boud made the point of Henderson being all right, but not really standing out. But I think that's a good thing because he looked comfortable. The thing with Henderson that I like is he always wants the ball.
Yeah.
He's always stand up.
Yeah.
He's looking at. He's very, very aware of what's around him, and he's always looking for the ball or trying to at least get into a position where he's available.
And that's the problem Celtic have. It's not uncommon when we have a bad performance that people are just shying away from taking the ball.
Well, I agree with both your points. When you say that about people shying away, McGregor comes to mind, frankly, because there's times when you don't even know McGregor's on the pitch. He's not necessarily, he's got a decent touch. He knows how. He's obviously knows the role he's been defined to play, but sometimes you just forget he's playing. Henderson always wants the ball. Henderson always turns forward. He's always looking forward, which I think is terrific from a young player. You want them, attack-minded, looking forward. He's got great technique, which we've seen. So, we're talking about...
Where does he fit in the team, though? Because see if Deila gets his wingers, which obviously they keep talking about how they want to get the pace, and fair enough, it's no worked out with Tonev and McCastle, and they've got Gary Mackay-Steven coming in, and they want to get pace in the wider areas. Where's he fit in? Because Johansson, Brown and Beaton, they're the three
he's been playing on the left-hand side of the three, and I think that's where he'll play.
I know, but
left wing he's been playing.
Aye, well, you know what I mean, though.
But if he brings in a winger, which is obviously what he wants to have wingers with pace on either side, he might not get in.
I reckon what he's looking for is Mackay-Steven on one wing and Forrest on the other. I reckon that's his. But you're talking about two guys, both of them, who are going through injury problems. Gary Mackay-Steven missed a big chunk of this season through injury. Now, that's maybe not going to be long term, but we can't rely on Forrest. I mean, we just can't. Any other thoughts about the game? I mean, I thought that the words professional kind of sum up for me. It wasn't a very good game. It wasn't very entertaining to watch.
I actually thought the referee done all right. Weirdly.
I actually thought that as well. I thought...
Steve McLean?
Yeah. When was it? There was something quite early on.
Scott Brown
Was it Scott Brown?
The
With a wee kick out.
Aye, he had the kick out.
Aye.
And he could have carded him, and we've seen it so many times, and he didn't. And I thought about him, I thought, why? Like, that's the type of guy you want in the
But why is Scott Brown kicking
Celtic
someone out?
Allowing players to kick other people.
the Glasgow Derby. No, but see somebody who
was a
doesn't
booking.
just throw them.
That's why the referee.
Petulant. There was actually a petulant kick in the second half by a Hamilton player who got booked.
Well, that's good. That's what we want. What's your point, Ciaran?
He won't biased referee.
One rule for Celtic, one rule for Minute.
Biased in our favour for once. That'd be lovely.
But yeah, aye, sorry.
We kind of let it flow, although in saying that, the one Brown had in the second half, which was just a really, really cynical foul, that was
I
kind
think he's
borderline.
He's better.
red.
He's better than that Bobby Madden anyway.
Bobby.
Bobby, aye. He'd probably called the game off.
Well, thankfully he's not getting no firm game.
Really?
He'd been initially given it.
He's away on some
in
course
UEFA.
or something.
Oh,
Him, Thompson, Colm are all away on some UEFA weekend.
So Hugh Dallas's son.
Listen, Bobby, son, after all that, you'll need to make yourself disappear that
It's
weekend.
going to be an inexperienced ref.
It needs. I think it would have to be McLean, or
I think McLean's part of the UEFA as well.
is it? Well, that it's all gearing up for Hugh Dallas's boy to get this game.
So hold on, all the best referees in Scotland are all going to be out of the country when the biggest game of the year comes.
what are you up to, Louis, that day?
Tell you what, I wouldn't be involved in that.
Maybe that means they're going to get somebody from outside. Mind that guy. Mind when they went on strike and he came from fucking
I think we should
Iceland or
get
something.
Pierluigi Collina to come back and do it just one last
I
time
think we should get Chris Boud to do it. That's a fucking referee.
because he looks like Pierluigi Collina.
The old firm game is sorry, the Glasgow Derby is sneaking up on us. We'll cover that next week. We've got a game on Wednesday. Motherwell, who have just signed Stephen Pirro.
And he will be able to make his debut if he gets international clearance in time.
Good
From
player.
India.
Yeah.
India,
What do we think? I mean, Ciaran, you've got a season ticket. Bryan, you've got a season ticket. You guys going, or it's not the weather for football, really, is it?
It's a Wednesday night and it's going to be freezing, and I want to go and see Celtic, but it's one of these things where we shouldn't be playing football in January because it's horrendous.
Well, that's the whole winter break. Remember, we used to have a winter break. We were quite cutting edge at one point, and then it's just no. Ciaran?
Sorry when it's cold in the afternoon, just not in the evening. I sat in Hampden watching Queen's Park on Saturday and it was alright.
Aye, but you live around the corner as well from it. If you, for example, if you're travelling through from Edinburgh, or we could get more snow over the network. There's more snow forecast.
Or Ireland, there's so many season ticket holders from Ireland.
Exactly, that's another good point. Louis, you wanted to make a point about Hamilton. About
Tell me what it was again.
Hamilton Accies in there.
the
Oh
tickets.
yeah. They've got their game against Inverness, which I don't know if that's during the week or at the weekend actually. But
No
their
researched this very much, have you?
listen, it was on the radio, right? Their next game anyway, it's 10p to get in. That's 10 pence. 10 pence to get in. It's partly because
How much is it again?
I believe it is. How much is it again?
Right,
Like 10 pence.
What's the profit margins going to be in that?
9 pence. But it's because Alex Neil was there for 10 years and he was number 10, and there is another guy who works there, has been there for 10 years, and he's leaving. This will be his last game. I think he's the number 2 just now. I really don't know the guy's name.
That's why it's too bold to get in.
So that's supposed to be funny.
You're all laughing, so
I'm laughing.
no one else is.
But it's brilliant, and the fact that you can go and watch a Premier League game for 10 pence is quite something. And then you have is it
Inverness are doing
Inverness are-
pay what you feel it's worth. So Inverness are going to
pay what you can, maybe not
was gonna
what you
say-
feel it's worth, but
No,
pay
it's what you feel it's worth. What you feel you
So
should.
does that mean you can ask for money back?
So, yeah, Inverness are
give it that bucket.
one administration.
Let's make sure Rangers don't do that.
Aye, absolutely.
But then you hear an advert on the radio the night for Celtic's glamour tie against Motherwell on Wednesday night, which they tell you isn't on TV, and it's £26 for adults, £10 for children. It just shows you the difference.
But that's because somebody's been there for 26 years. And we're number 26.
Aye. Oh, aye, of
That's
course.
It's not to do with a pricing structure in it.
Yeah. Let's. There's some stuff about Deila. Deila dismisses Commons' exit.